Okay, there we go. Okay, welcome everybody. I'm so glad you guys can all be on. If anyone on your team is working or anything, we're recording this, and so you'll be able to send them the link after. But I'm going to let Amanda go ahead and kick us off and get started. Zach will be down here in a second too. He's threatening all of us upstairs.
That's why I just ran over here, except for our child doesn't understand the threatening yet. So welcome, you guys. I'm so happy for everybody that's on right now. I just want to take a minute to introduce the people who are going to be speaking today. So if y'all can just take a second, introduce yourself, when you joined the company and what your rank is, just so that everybody knows who is talking. My name is Amanda Stain. I joined the company in December of 2017. So I've been in for 15 months now, or almost going on 15 months now, and I am a diamond leader on our team. Brittany, you want to go?
Yes, so I think most of you probably know me, but my name is Brittany Hayes. If you're on the Zoom, I'm your triple diamond upline, and Zach is your double diamond upline. We have been in the business for 21 months this month. And yeah, I feel like I was going to say something else. I don't know what all Amanda said, but yeah, I'll pass it back over to Tabitha now.
Hey guys, I am Tabitha Curry, and I have been with this company for 6 months now, and I am an Emerald leader. So yeah.
Tabitha just got the $5,000 Emerald bonus that she earned last month, and we were all super excited for her. So well done, Tabitha. Brittany, is Zach on?
Here he is. He just got back from threatening, and he just said, do I get to introduce myself too?
My turn. I'm Zach. I just got all the kids in a room, and we should be good to go now. So I'm Zach. I'm Brittany's husband. I'm also the Instagram husband in the family. So I take a lot of pictures. So yeah, I've been in business a little less than she has. How long has it been? Like 21 months?
Yeah, you joined a week after me.
Yeah, so that's me.
Zach is the man behind all of the awesome photos that Brittany posts. So I'm going to share a little bit of his tricks and tips with us today. And of course, obviously, Brittany makes photos, but Zach's got a lot of tips for us today. I just want to quickly just thank everybody who's on the Zoom tonight. I know today is a Sunday, and I know that's a family day for a lot of you. I completely understand that. We had church this morning, and we've got small groups and all kinds of things going on. But I think it's really important to invest your time in your business and growing your business. And I think that that's not something to be taken lightly. So those of you who are on here, and I see there's some newbies that are on here as well, I just want to give you a hand, because that is going to pay off for you in spades. And I have a quote that I want to share real quick before we dive in. There is no shortcut to success. It takes time to build a better and stronger version of yourself. And that's a quote that I found in one of my Mama Fitness groups. So it's actually talking about like dieting and, living a healthy lifestyle, but it definitely applies to our business as well. And it's something that I find refreshing to remember every once in a while, because a lot of people think that because this business is unconventional, that it's just, it's a quick money. And it's not really like that. If anything, it's really something where you definitely have to build your business to see that return. It's not like going to go work at a store in the mall and automatically making $8 or $9 or $10 an hour. It's not like that at all. I actually had a conversation with somebody today who said that they're not going to be able to stay in the business because of the hourly wage that they're making. If they figure it out, it's $3.75. But you know what? The time that you're spending in now and the time that you're putting in now, you just have to have a greater vision than $3.75 an hour. Because if Brittany and I would have done that, we were making pennies an hour for a while. And Brittany makes, what's your monthly average now?
Our monthly average between the two of us is $16,000 a month. And I just want to reiterate what Amanda's saying. When we got started, guys, I definitely was putting in more time than I was getting back, as a return. But I remember hearing someone say, in the beginning, as one of the leaders in the company, they said, if you're going to get waylaid by a small check, in your first couple months in the business, then you don't deserve the 5-figure check that's coming. Because true entrepreneurs see that in the beginning, I'm going to put more of myself in than I'm going to get back. But then in the end, I'm going to get more back than anyone else could ever pay me. And like, guys, you can't put a price on freedom. Like you can't put a price on your husband not having to go clock in every day. And, you know, you're being able to like be yes parents and take your kids to do things that you never would have been able to do. But I see people every day with great potential literally throw in the towel and walk away when they're 6 inches from gold. Like I see their chart. I literally see how things are about to blow up, and they're like that much closer to the huge turning point that we saw last New Year's. And I just want to tell you guys, like, this is like the season when like it is so important to like power through and press through, because you have no idea what's coming. And so many of you do, because so many of you are on that, you've already hit that curve. Like I know Tabitha and Jordan know exactly what I'm talking about. They just earned a $5,000 bonus last month, but they have put in hard work, and you have to put in the work if you're ever going to see, you know, these crazy monthly incomes that you've been hearing about. So anyways, sorry to Amanda to steal your talking bit.
And I love the inspiration that she shares with our team. Because as much as I am thankful for what I'm making, and I'm thankful to be able to earn a full-time income from home, I'm not satisfied with that, because I know what's waiting for me and I know what I've got my hands on. And then it's funny because I read that quote in a mom's group yesterday. I'm going to share something that was said in church this morning, and it all comes down to faith. So do we actually believe that the reason that we joined is possible? Do you actually believe that what you joined for is possible? And it's faith and it's work. So unless we believe that there is some ultimate payoff, we will never achieve greatness. And he talks about, our pastor talked about it in Hebrews 12 too, and he talks about like becoming a servant. But basically what he's talking about is achieving a goal. And if you're willing to have the faith that it requires, that means not giving up and understanding that there are difficult times and there is going to be building processes, and that's really just something to expect. It's not something to let get you down. So sorry for that brief caveat, but I just wanted to really encourage you guys, because I'm really proud of every single one of you that's on here and spending the time, and I really hope that this Zoom is really helpful for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to do sections on how to take a great photo and how to edit a great photo, but I just want to encourage y'all to use the comments box. If you have questions in the middle, do not be shy. We are all a family here. There are no stupid questions. So if you have questions while we're going, type it out in the comments box. And as we're going, we're going to answer those. And then we're also going to have a Q&A session at the end where you can like unmute yourself if there's still some questions that you've got going on. So first of all, I'm going to toss it over to Zach for the mechanics of taking a great photo. He's going to talk to us a little bit about angle and staging and lighting. And then Brittany's going to finish that up for us. So Zach, we'd love to hear your tips.
So Zach just ran back upstairs to threaten children. I don't know. He apparently has better hearing than I do, because I didn't even hear anybody coming out, and he like dashed up the stairs. But I'll just start off, and then I'll pass it over to him whenever he gets back. So first of all, I want to like preface what we're going to share with you guys with, like, anybody can post on social media, but what is going to set you apart from everyone else is the fact that you're taking good quality pictures that stop people in their scrolls. And so it's super important to like be diligent in learning and getting better, because I feel like none of us really come into this business taking good pictures right off the bat. I mean, some come in with more natural talent than others. I've definitely signed some of you guys who, like, your first few pictures, your first week, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you're a complete natural. But if you're anything like me, you come into the business like not really taking the best pictures. But that doesn't mean that you can't be successful. That doesn't mean you can't learn. If you guys would have seen, like, guys, I'm embarrassed at my time hop. When my time hop comes up and it shows me, like, when we first started, I'm like, oh my goodness. But you know, look at me, I'm still here today. So, so that just goes to show you, like, everyone can learn and get better with pictures. But Zach's actually back, so I'll let him get started. Amanda, would you kind of like dive in with like angles and like just, yeah.
All right, sounds good. All right, first of all, sorry I had to hop out. Had to friend some kids, you know, do my thing. But basically, I want to hit on lighting and I want to hit on angles, okay? So these are two extremely important things, okay? If the lighting is not good, the picture just, there's very little you can do to salvage a picture, because lighting can either illuminate all of your best features, it can illuminate your face, or it can cast distracting shadows all over your picture. So I'm kind of a snob about this, and Brittany can attest to that. I'm kind of annoying about it. Like, if it is noon or 1 o'clock and the sun is shining directly down on top of your head, it's going to be a bad picture. It just is. I'm sorry. So basically, lighting, you want to have.
And in those cases, it's better to get in front of like a window.
Yes.
Like if it's during the day, like high peak sun, those times are the great.
You need to filter it.
Yeah, like those are the times you want to go stand in front of your living room window and like take your selfie in front of your living room window. So if you're going to take a selfie with Shake or Keto Coffee, like let the light shine on your face from the window. But that's not the best time to actually go outside, is what he's saying.
Okay, so the best way to really kind of to do this is to kind of show you some examples. So I just kind of cruised on my Facebook a little bit before the Zoom and kind of highlighted a couple instances of good pictures. Yeah, give me an angle. There we go. All right, so a couple of good pictures, and here's one that's a really good example of what her just some background here. What was that? The maternity shoot that we did at the beach. That was a really hard shoot to do because, well, we have so many kids. It's hard to get your lighting exactly perfect. Like
it was like 3 o'clock. I think.
Yeah, it was like 3 o'clock, and the sun was coming directly down on top of us, and it was just a hard shoot to do. But I literally had to take like 200 pictures to get a few that were pretty good. But here's an example of why you don't want to put to work or put it in the, go ahead and hold it up there so it looks good.
So it's going to be hard to see. This isn't one of the ones you guys have seen me post, but like there's a big shadow on my face. So even though like the pose is good, the picture is good, you can see the ocean,
is perfect.
Like my face is really dark. And so no matter what way I edit this picture, you're going to see my face is going to look darker than everything else.
Yeah.
So what Zach was saying is he took like 200 that day. So y'all see me post some from that shoot that are good, but it was really, really difficult to get some good ones.
It's so hard to get good ones. But here, an example of like if the sun is just coming up or the sun is just is nearing going down,
this was like
you get perfect, amazing lighting, okay? So when it shines through those trees and hits her hair, and it's amazing.
So this was like a picture that was taken about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and you can see the lighting is super even. Like the background's good and bright. It just makes the world of a difference. Like I didn't even have to do hardly any editing on that picture. Yep. I just put it through PicTap made it crispy, and we were good to go.
But just keep in mind, you don't want too much sun. You know how our parents would always stand us in front of something, and the sun would have to be like blinding your eyes. Like you couldn't even look at the camera because the sun was so bright. Like that was the old school thought, They didn't like, oh, we want good lighting, but that's really kind of, it's a lot of times that was too much light. So if the light is too bright, it can kind of, wash out your picture. So just honestly, this is stuff that you're gonna have to learn. We talked earlier about how when we joined this company, our picture taking skills were horrible. We knew nothing, and it's something that kind of evolves. Like even my pictures, 4 or 5 months ago, are nothing like they are from what I know now. So it's a constant process of evolving and just honing your craft as you move on or as you move along the business. So lighting, you want like I already said, there's not a whole lot to lighting. You just don't want too much of it, and just kind of move around. A lot of times, we'll be doing a photo shoot or whatever, kind of stockpile some pictures, and I'll just have to look at it through my phone and be like, oh, that's not good. It just doesn't look good. And so just move around, just go like under a tree where the light's kind of a little bit more filtered, and try pictures there. So it's just a lot of trial and error. So that's the biggest thing about lighting. So
let me add on to that.
Go ahead.
So natural light is always going to be the best. But if you are inside, like be mindful of like if the lighting is yellow in your house and
yes.
and kind of what we were saying, like during the day, definitely get in front of a window, because natural light is always going to be more flattering on like your face and whatever the main object of your picture is, then like the natural yellow light most of us have in our houses.
Yep.
And then also you want to make sure that even if it isn't an indoor picture, like let's say it's evening and you're taking a picture in your house, make sure you have decent enough lighting, even if it is yellow, because we'll talk about this at the end about editing and removing some of that yellow, but you want to make sure nothing's grainy. So like going back to what we were talking about when we first started, pictures we used to post on Facebook of our kids, It Works, were very grainy. We would just snap a picture of our baby looking cute and post it. And I think that's pretty normal. Most people, do that before, you become a social media marketer. But now that you're in the business, you really want to be mindful of like nothing being grainy. So make sure no matter what, even if you don't have access to natural light, just make sure you have enough lighting that the picture's clear. And then this is definitely not something that any of you need to feel like you have to do right now. Like, I don't want anybody to like financially strap themselves, but do you want to show them the ring light? But we like, and I want to
game changer. I'm just telling you.
I want to preface with, we did not buy this until like 3 or 4 months ago. So we obviously made it all the way to Triple Diamond and beyond, like without having a ring light. So I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, I have to get this right now. They're like $100 on Amazon, but they are definitely worth it if you can, you can budget it and get one. And if you have kids or you just really enjoy taking, do you see the light on my face? This is the ring light coming on me.
So much better.
This basically creates like natural light at any time of the day. So like Zach took some pictures of me and Amanda when she was at my house. Some of you guys may have seen it. And that was like 9 o'clock at night. And we were just in front of like a blank wall, but like with the ring light shining on our face, like
it looks like this.
It looks so like, okay, look, yeah, that's
a ring light. It's on a stand, kind of like a mic stand. And it just broadcasts perfectly.
And it's great to take, like, you can take a selfie, like you can hold your phone through the circle, or like someone else can take one of you, but they're great to have just in general, like even not just for business pics, because we've taken some really good ones of our kids with it and stuff. I'll definitely use it when Adeline's here to take lots of cute ones of her. But again, don't feel like you have to go run out and buy one, but if, as you're able, I highly recommend investing in one. You can write it off on your taxes. That it's definitely been a game changer for us for the past several months since we've had it. So, but go ahead with what you're going to say.
I think that's about it. That's what I was going to hit on too. You just basically said everything I was going to say about that. The lighting, the ring light really was kind of a game changer for us. Especially, I use it a lot on my food pics. But yeah, that's a fun tool to play around with, and it really will help to step up your game a little bit, or a lot. Hi, so lighting, I think that about covers lighting, don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so my second thing is angles, all right? So there's been, some, we probably need marriage counseling sometimes because of my horrible angles, especially when I started out. I used to take these angles are like looking up on her face, and it was like, oh my gosh, like we legit got in fights over it because I'm like, I don't know what I did, but now I know. So angles really do help to, they can take a normal picture and you can tell a totally different story with it. And what I mean by that is, almost everyone out there takes their camera, sees something, takes a picture just like this. Just their eyes on the picture like they're looking at it, okay? And people, it's not very eye-catching because it's just everybody looks at it like that. The camera is just like your eyes looking at something. And it's not that appealing, not that eye-catching. If I took a picture of my kid, I'm looking down on him, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, I see that all the time. I see my kid standing in there looking cute all the time or whatever. So it's not that appealing, or it's not that eye-catching. But if you really want to grab somebody's attention, I always change up my angles. So there's a lot of different ways you can do that, but it's pretty simple, really. We have so many kids, I take a lot of kid pictures. And my absolute favorite angle to do is, instead of just looking out and taking a picture of my kid, getting on my knees or something and just taking a low angle on your kid. So either directly eye level to them, or I'll even go lower sometimes and like get one shooting up on them. And I've got a couple examples here. Let me look here. Oh, there's one. Oh yeah, that's a different angle though. I thought I saved all these. I don't know what I do with all these damn pictures. But
the one that you took of Daniel at the beach was really good like that. You were like just
yes. But it really does, it makes the whole thing change, all right? So here's one of Brittany and Catherine and Kristen, okay, when they were here. Go ahead and show that picture.
So like, this is not a picture where we're standing up. We're sitting in the ocean, and he like got on his knees in the ocean too and like got one of us. So it was like completely different. If he would have been standing up taking one, it would have been
just like, no, they're just chilling.
Yeah. There's certain and this is more something that I'm going to be covering, so I'm not going to elaborate on this a ton right now, but like downward angles really only work when you're eye level with the person. So like Catherine, Kristen, and I were sitting down, so that was a really good angle.
Yep.
And like kids are little, so downward angles work good with them. You don't want to take a downward angle of someone that, you know, is 5'5" or 6 foot tall. And we'll get into that. We'll get into why about that later. But go ahead and show them like that picture of Silas, that like showing them how you get different angles.
Okay. And here's another angle of Silas, like looking up. Like I genuinely try to, he's looking over the edge of the pier, and I just held my phone down, and I actually did it on selfie mode. And so that he could see himself in the camera, and he was like, holy cow, I look good.
So you got the decking of like the roof of the pier. The roof of the, what's that thing called? Like
the pergola? I don't know what that's called.
Whatever
gazebo.
Yeah,
there we
gazebo.
Go. So it was a different, just a whole totally different perspective. So you really want to bring something to your pictures that's not normal. If you're looking at your kid and you're like, holy cow, that kid's so cute, just think of a way to like make it kind of pop out more. You know, change the angles, go down eye level with them. Even get some of the carpet, like go super low, or get some of the flooring or the grass, like add different dimensions to your pictures by changing up your angle. Like Silas, I added a little bit different dimension because that's something you just don't see. You don't ever like look up on your kid like that. But it added a new kind of playful dimension to the picture. And so it made it a little bit more eye-catching.
Think of like when you go get family pictures made, or any type of pictures you have like with a photographer, like you're never going to see the photographer just standing there and just being like click, click, click. Like they're always going to be moving around and getting so many different angles. So like that's just kind of, you know, if you have had a recent shoot with the photographer, like kind of think like, okay, what were some of the angles they were getting at?
I'm not gonna lie, like I just got to thinking like every stereotype of a photographer, like, you know, just going like crazy and doing all that. I'm like, you know, that's gotta be the secret, because all of them do it. So I just started playing around with it, honestly, and just started doing different angles, and it really does change up your pictures completely. It adds, like I said, more dimension, more texture. Like the one of Brittany and all them in the water, the waves, that picture kind of captures the ocean in a totally different way. It adds more to the picture, like just makes you look like, wow, that water's so pretty. But yeah, so use angles to take a normal picture and just set it off. I mean, you can tell a totally different story by just changing up your angles.
Here's one showing you guys where it wasn't people. It was like taking like a nature type shot. We were out bike riding in the sun. We were going through the trails in our neighborhood. I don't know if you can see with the lighting, but the sun was coming through really pretty. And so I was like, Zach, stop, take a picture. And so he stopped, and he got like just enough of his bike. He crouched down, and you can't really see because the glare, but like the sun's coming through, but like the angle of the bike with the wheel and the sun coming.
And it tells a story.
Yeah. Exactly. And that picture, I mean, on Instagram was like a huge hit, and I'd never posted something like that before, but people like to see things that are different. They like to see things that aren't like every other picture they scroll and see. So especially as you're mixing it up and you're doing your lifestyle pictures, like these are great pictures to take, and don't be afraid to take a lot at one time. Like if you're having a day where you're going on a walk or you're at the park with your kid, like take lots of pictures. Or if you're out enjoying the day with your friends and you're in a cute little downtown area, like take lots of pictures while you're out, just of like shops you see, like any cute different picture. And then you don't have to post them all that day, but you'll have tons of material for the coming days.
And lots of different angles, one picture with different angles. So if you're like, oh, this is a really cool scene, take it at a high, low, really low, and from the side, like get different views of it. Because chances are one of those views will really pop out to you, but you would never know. And it may just be an amazing picture you never would have thought of. Like you look at it from one angle and you're like, oh, that's a good picture. But then if you switch up angles a little bit, that's like a totally more phenomenal picture. You know what I mean? So just kind of play with your angles with every shot.
You're just showing that one.
Yeah, so we do a lot of like, because Instagram loves like nature, landscape, that kind of stuff. So I went out to the beach and just took some like pretty like little flowers. Like this seems like a beautiful little oasis, but really it was just a little flower in the middle of the beach. So on the edge of the beach. So I just like, got down and just zoomed in on it. And I'm just telling you guys, I'm an iPhone guy. We're an iPhone family. Like iPhone portrait mode. Sorry, there's kids screaming. I think they're okay. But iPhone portrait view or portrait mode. It turns you into a phenomenal photographer. It compensates for all of your flaws, all of your bad everything.
It immediately subtly blurs out everything in the background of the picture, and the focus is on what you want it to be focused on. And so it takes an ordinary picture and makes it phenomenal. So we know some of you are Android people. we're not going to, you know, be mean to you about that, but you should highly consider because
because it really did step up my game big time.
I know there's arguments about, you know, the very best Android camera is better, although not than the iPhone X. The iPhone X they have said is better, but I just had to say it, guys. But I know, like, technically the best Android camera is better than like our phone, which is the 7 Plus. But you don't have the portrait mode, and so if you're up for an upgrade, I'm just saying, just pray about it, guys. Just pray about it. That's all I'm asking. It can change your business. No, I'm kidding. I know you can take good pictures on Androids too, but we're just a huge fan of portrait mode. So portrait mode, for those of you that have iPhones and don't have it, it's the 7 Plus and above that has portrait mode on it. So if you have the 7, it doesn't, or the 6 or anything, but 7 Plus and above has it. It's a game changer. So.
It really is. So, I mean, I wish I could like screen share and like show all these pictures, but honestly, you just have to, I got a lot of ideas from kind of looking at Pinterest. And Amanda kind of gave me some of this inspiration. She was here too. She was like, I just look at, like, she does her flat lays by looking at Pinterest and stuff. I won't give away anything she's saying, but I'm just looking at what other people do. People are way more creative than you. Like, look at what they do, and then just kind of, you know, try to mimic them. Because everybody on your Instagram doesn't know that you copied somebody. They think, holy crap, that guy's so good, or that girl's so good at taking pictures. Like, they have no idea that you copied somebody. But it really does, it helps you to hone your craft. It helps you to kind of like be more creative. It helps you to like get that brain, the creative brain, because I just don't naturally have it. So
yeah, and elaborating on that, like if you see something that catches your eye, like you're scrolling Instagram or you're scrolling Facebook or Pinterest or whatever, maybe you're looking at like a leader you look up to and they post something. Like if you see a picture that catches your eye, like just think, like keep that in mind for later of like how you can reenact it with your own stuff. So for example, like I've seen some really pretty pictures of people like taking like an upward angle, like holding their phone up like this. I don't know if it's plugged in. It's $100. I'll plug it. So like taking it up like this, like with, you know, they'll have like their devotion book or their computer and like a cup of coffee or whatever. That's super easy to recreate, you guys. You can do that with anything you have on hand. I've done it with like, whenever I ordered Cindy Pentecost Christmas devotional book, I was like, oh, this will make a great picture. Like I was doing my devotions in bed one morning. Zach brought me my coffee. Boom, good picture. So just some tips I wanted to give about stuff like that is just, again, just make sure the picture's flattering. So you never want to, I wish I had a cup, but I'll just hold this little iPhone stand. I'll have to do. Let's pretend this is a coffee cup. You don't ever want to just like hold your coffee cup and be like, boom, fat burning coffee. Like it's going to be so much more eye catching. Even if you don't have time to stage like a huge picture, like go and find something that's going to make the picture a little more unique. So
a flower, something, switch up the colors.
So for us, like our living room windows, like we have a palm tree right outside, and in the morning, we don't have any curtains or blinds or anything. So in the morning, actually all throughout the day, there's like tons of natural light shining. So like if I'm like going to take a picture of like my keto coffee and post it, I'll walk in front of that window and I'll get the palm tree in the background, the light coming in, and I'll hold my coffee up, and then I can make a post about like love bright shiny mornings, palm trees, and my fat burning coffee. You know, it just all of a sudden now it's not just a cup of coffee, it's like there's other pretty stuff. Or if I'm like sitting in the chair and Silas is playing really cutely on the floor, I'll put it on portrait mode and I'll have my coffee holding up. And then remember, it subtly blurs out the back, but you can still see a little bit of the background. And so you can see that Silas is playing in the background. I'll put like mornings with my baby and my fat burning coffee. So again, just like get creative in small ways, because that's not anything I had to stage. Like he's already there, but instead of just taking a picture of my coffee, I'm getting my coffee with him in the background, or my coffee with the palm tree in the background. So just think of little things like that. And then back to the like taking pictures like in the bed and stuff. So like the other day I did one where you guys probably saw it. I just had like my legs stretched out, and then I think I had a computer. I don't remember what I had a cup of coffee, and I had something else. And literally just, I mean, you know, held the camera up over, and then got a really pretty look of the coffee. I had bright pink on, so that brightened up the picture. And then I just, when I edited, I chose highlights on PicTap Go, so I looked a little bit tanner. So my legs didn't look so pale because I definitely need a spray tan right now. But anyway, so just little things like that, like you can make, you know, take an ordinary picture of just coffee and make it better. So, and I'm using the example of coffee because I know we all can relate to that. We all drink coffee in the morning. But do that with anything. Like when you're taking a picture of your shake, of your greens, like just think of a way you can take it from ordinary to a little bit more eye-popping. And then another thing that I wanted to hit on with going back to angles. So Zach talked a lot about just like basic staging of angles. Well, one thing that you heard us mention, like when he gets low to take a kid picture, I said, you don't want to do that with an adult. So
this is where our fighting came from.
So guys, I'm a pretty small person, but you can make me look really big if you get a really bad angle of a picture, you know, a really bad angle picture of me. So like you want to make sure you're taking flattering pictures of yourself, because we all want to put our best foot forward on social media. And so get good picture, you know, get good angles. If you know you have a good side, if you know like, oh, if you turn, instead of facing the camera head on, if you turn to like a slight, just, what am I trying to say, like 25-degree angle, yep, you're going to look so much slimmer in the picture than if you're square onto the camera. You'll notice that, especially those of you who've been to conference, you know what I'm talking about. When you go take pictures with some leaders, they will literally curl their whole body behind you when they're taking a picture, like, because they look so much slimmer when they like pull a leg in and like curl behind you. So like you've got to like play around with like angles, like, and just always put your best foot forward. When I was listening to the audiobook, Get Over Your Damn Self, it's the head, like the top income earner for Roden and Fields. She wrote that book. I can't remember what, or I know what her name is, but I can't pronounce her name. It's a weird name. But she says in the book, she says, never just like leave your arm hanging beside you. She was like, always just slightly pull it up like this, or, you know, pull it in front of you. She was like, but you never want it just laying flat. And she literally said, the slimmest person, their arm will look way bigger if they just have their arm hanging. She was like, so you always want to just slightly pull it up. So those are just like little things to think about.
Be vain.
Yeah. So yeah, like guys on social, like you're selling yourself. Like you're not selling It Works. You're not selling the product. You're not selling the business. You are selling yourself. Like people are going to look at you and they're going to buy from you over someone else. So like when you're, you know, obviously when you're taking pictures of products, that's totally different. But when you're taking pictures of yourself, especially when you're taking like a selfie for a business post, like you're selling yourself. Like that's the fact of the matter. There's no way around it. So it is important to like make sure you're putting your best foot forward. So back to the angles.
Be attractive. This is attraction marketing.
So back to the angles, like you don't, if you're having your husband take a picture of you, like you don't want him to like hold the phone like right here or here or like angle up.
This will get you in trouble.
Because you will look like you have 3 chins. So do not do that. No. You always want, if someone's taking a picture of you, you want them to be angling down at you. They don't have to like hold the phone up here, but you want them like, Zach, stand up. Let's just show them. I want to make sure everyone knows this.
Well, the camera on.
Yeah. So that like,
pretend I'm standing.
Instead of going like this, or even like this, you would want like this. So it's like pretty level with his face.
Like you're looking up, so everything looks flat, your face looks flat, your neck, everything.
But the phone is going to be slightly tilted, and that's going to give a way more slimming look to him. But like if I were to get down and get it like this, like he's going to...
I'm looking down, I got double chin, you know.
He's going to look, or even if he's looking straight up. If you're coming at someone, the only time you ever want to get low is if they're sitting or if it's kids, because kids are shorter.
Yep.
So definitely just make sure that you are mindful of that. Same thing with selfies. Like when you're taking a selfie, you don't want to be like this. You want to hold it up and angle down towards you. So that's always just going to make you look more flattering in the pictures. And again, I know it sounds vain, but guys, it's a vain.
Be vain.
This is the one time it's okay to be vain. Like you want to put, you know, again, put your best foot forward. Also, if you have days that like, you know, you're feeling a mess, you have no makeup on, like you haven't, you know, showered, done your hair, we all can relate to that. Like this is where it's really important to have like a stock of pictures.
Heck yeah.
So like on days when I am ready, like that's going to be the days I take like lots of good pictures, and I might take some selfies. I might go outside and have Zach take some of me. So they're totally different pictures. I might get whichever of my kid is looking the cutest that day and be like, hey.
If they don't look cute, they don't get a picture. I'm just saying.
Anyone that has multiple kids, you know what I'm talking about. There's that one day that one is just like, you know, melting your heart. So I'll be like, Mason, you come here, get a picture with mommy, and I'll get a picture with Mason. You know, like I'll get lots of different pictures. And that way, if I have that day that, you know, I'm running out of pictures to post, I'm like, look like a wreck, you know, pregnancy's got the best of me, I'm going to go and get one of those pictures that I took a few days ago that was really good. You know, I'm not going to like go and like take a picture of myself where I'm like, oh, this will have to do, you know.
Yeah. It's
better just to like use some old ones. Also, that's whenever you're having like family pictures or anything like that, like keep stocks of those for that same purpose too. But that's kind of going down a different angle. And then I know Tabitha is going to talk a lot about editing. So that'll hit on that, just kind of elaborating. what else was I going to say? I feel like there was something I was going to hit on. Oh, one thing too, we didn't say this when we were talking about the ring light, but another perk of the ring light is the ring light, because it distributes such even lighting all over your face, you don't notice any flaws on your face. So like you all know what I'm talking about. There's certain lighting where you take a picture and you're like, oh my gosh, like I look wrinkly. And you're like, I'm not wrinkly. Like why do I see all these like fine lines and stuff in this picture? Well, that's one great thing about the ring light is like it distributes such even lighting that you just don't see any of that. Same thing with natural light. If you go stand in front of a window, you're going to have that. And I know we already talked about this and why it's good to do, but I wanted to hit on this. I'm putting your best foot forward. The lighting that shines on your face, like you're going to look so much more flawless, if you will, than if you stand underneath a light, which you guys can't see this, but like, I'll just see if it'll show. Like if you have like yellow lighting like this in your house, I don't know if it's going to go high enough. No, if it's not. Thought I could show you. I have like this chandelier that hangs over my desk.
If your lights have yellow filters, like a lot of homes do, because it's a more relaxing look or feel, but it's not good for pictures. Yeah,
that will always show more flaws on your face and stuff. So that's where, if you do have to take a picture in that kind of lighting, that's where editing is going to come in to like play even bigger. But yeah, I think that's the gist of it. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about with staging good pictures?
No, I mean, I think that's about it. I mean, there's a whole nother section you can do on food, but that's a long section. Just, you know.
If anyone has questions about that, we'll do it later. But yeah, just basically just think of like ordinary things you have around your house. You don't have to have anything crazy, but just like a good book you have around your house, you know, a cute coffee cup.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more stuff I'm not thinking of, but you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff. Just like literally what you already have is going to be great for you, but just think of how you can incorporate it into pictures. And then one other thing too, I know Claire, I haven't ever done this, but I know Claire did this when she got started because they lived in like a really tiny townhouse and it was like really outdated. That she said they had like super ugly countertops and stuff. And so she felt like she didn't have like good places to like lay stuff and take pictures. So she went to like Home Depot or Lowe's and bought like these tiles that are like, I think like 18 inches by 18 inches or something. And they're like $3. And they're like basically the samples of like what marble people are going to get or granite or whatever. And so she just went and bought a bunch of them. They're like $3 each. And then she would like lay these big tiles down and stage her product pictures on those. So that is also, or like she put a cup of coffee in like a book and then maybe some greens or something, you know? So that's something that if you feel like you're in that situation where you're like, I just have nowhere in my house I can take a good picture. I've got outside, but what do I do on the rainy days? You know, that's something that you can consider doing too and is super cost effective. Anything else?
I think I'm good.
All right, we're going to pass it over to.
Sorry, it's like drinking from a fire hose sometimes, but hang in there.
And if you guys have questions, like while Amanda and Tabitha are sharing, like any questions related to what we were saying, or you have questions about things that as they are talking about it, go ahead and put them in the chat so we can be seeing them and be answering them. And like Amanda said, don't be shy. Like no question is a stupid question. So, yeah.
That was really good. I really love how I can like go to so many Zooms and talk to y'all so often and I still learn things. Like that bicycle pic or like the one of you guys in the ocean. I really love what both of them were saying about that because Brittany said like think about when you're taking a picture how to get something ordinary to look a little bit different because that's when people are scrolling that they're going to stop and look at it. And that's actually one of the tips that I wanted to just quickly touch on is whenever I take my 200 pictures, like Zach says you can take 200 pictures and you might get a handful and they're good. Yeah. He's not kidding. Like you should look at his phone. Like you have to go through and delete. And I mean, I do that too. But wait, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry guys, I'm like mom brain getting a quick screen in the background. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. Oh, what I was going to say was one thing that I usually do when I have all my angles and all of the pictures is I will literally take my phone and I will hold it out so that I'm not looking at it up close. When I'm trying to decide which photo I'm going to post or which ones that I'm keeping, I will literally hold it out. And I do the same thing when I'm editing and I kind of just like glance over and see which one of those 60 pictures, which one did I see first? Because if you just look at all of them, they look too similar because it's the same thing 75 different times. So that's one thing that I think helps a little bit is just hold it out because that's going to be when people are scrolling through Instagram because people don't scroll like we do. They're like, when they're doing that, those photos of the bike tire or those photos of the girls in the ocean, like that is extreme. Like nobody takes pictures like that. So somebody's they're going to stop and they're going to look at that. And then what Zach was talking about, the flat lay, I think that's a really good tip for everybody. and it's not like copying. Brittany said, like, no one knows you're copying. You're not copying, because you're not copying and pasting somebody's picture. You're taking inspiration from someone who does it well, and you're trying to learn what their traits, like their little tricks, and you're recreating it, and like you're developing yourself. And I think that that's what I do most of the time, because a lot of times I feel like I just don't know what to post, and I want to post something really good. So I'll go through Instagram and I will search coffee mug and book. And I will find a couple of them that I really like. And then it's small details. Like Brittany said, like, don't just take a picture of your coffee cup. Like, go find that pretty little heart thing. Or it can be something really simple. Like, I use this book a lot in mine. It's just a leather-bound notebook. That's really silly, but it's actually my It Works notebook that I have, like, potentials in. But it's pretty, and I make sure that I keep it pretty because I put it in a lot of posts. Or, like, a pretty pen. And then just like extra little details, so it's not just like there's a picture of my coffee cup. And that's what makes it look a little bit different, because a lot of people post stuff, so you want it to be eye-catching whenever you're posting. Or another thing that I like to do is going to my leaders who I think have really good brands. Like, I really like Alyssa's, like, her whole look. Alyssa Bilyeu. That's one of our leaders. If y'all are new, go find her. I like her look, so I'll go look at some of her pictures that she takes with product, if I want to take a product picture, and then I'll see maybe I can do something like that, and then I try to stand there, because if I just go get a box of greens and try to take a picture of it, I don't know what to do with it, and this is not going to be a great picture for Instagram. So it just get inspiration from other people, and like Brittany said, like, find that one little thing that's going to take an ordinary picture that there's 75 of on Facebook, and just make it a little bit different. And I really liked what Brittany said about the coffee cup too, with Silas playing in the background. It's really helpful to make photos unique to you, because you want to appear as a real person. One of my new distributors asked me a couple weeks ago, like, where am I getting all my stock photos from? And I said, I don't know what you're talking, because I don't use a lot of stock photos. I do use some of them from our photo albums. And then she pulled up, it was a photo from like food that I took. But what I had done is I had just recreated a picture from Instagram, but she thought that it was a stock photo. So it is really good to see if you can put something personal from yourself. Children in the background. For Brittany, everybody knows what her nails look like. If you have a really distinctive ring, no, but really though, like, people know that, so they'll know, like, that's actually Brittany. Or like, if you have a really distinctive wedding ring, like, turn your hand so that you can see it, so that people know that it's you. Or you know, just something like that. Or if I'm taking a flat lay of books, sometimes I like to open my iPad or a flat lay of anything. I like to open my iPad to my website so that my website is in there. It's just a small detail, but it really makes a big difference, and it makes you appear like the boss whenever you're taking your flat lays. Okay, so no, that's it. Okay, so we're going to throw it over to Tabitha. She is going to touch on some apps that we encourage everyone to download if possible. And then after that, I'm going to round up. I'm not sure if Tabitha has tips for Android users as well, but some of these may be just for iPhone. But she's going to talk about apps that we use and how we edit our photos to make them look really eye-catching. So, Tabitha, take it away.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off by saying we all know that, like, our social media platforms are like our business shops. You know, that's what we work from. So imagine you're walking through the mall. What pictures on the windows catch your attention and make you go into the store? That's what you want your pictures to be like on Facebook. There's millions of pictures. People are scrolling, but you want it to be your picture that makes somebody stop. Or, you know, for me, I want people to know when they're scrolling through their feed that probably is Tabitha's picture, because that's what her pictures normally look like. So I have an iPhone 5. It's a hand-me-down. And so I have found some really good apps to help me out. So I have an app called Fab Focus. So for anybody else that doesn't have an iPhone 7 Plus or whatever, this helps give the same portrait feature. So it'll blur things out in the background and help bring things up to the forefront. So that's what I use whenever I'm trying to go for like a portrait mode style. I also have Facetune 2. I really like this because it really gives your face a really smooth, pretty look. Don't go overboard where it looks fake. You just want to barely touch up your face a little bit so that it just gives it a really matte finish. So that's another one I use pretty often. And then, let's see what else. Okay, I'll go ahead, I'll hit on PicsArt. PicsArt is the app that we use whenever you see somebody post a picture, like a really pretty picture of themselves, and then like off to the side is like a superimposed picture of an email that says that you got a new loyal customer or you just got paid. This is the app that we use to do that. So it's PicsArt. I guess, yeah, somebody put that in there. And what you do is you already have everything ready to go. Have your picture already edited, nice and pretty, and then already have your email cropped. So have it cropped and saved. Then go into it. Let me see. So you'll open up the app. There'll be a plus sign at the bottom. That's how you add your picture. So we can, that little red button right there is a plus sign. You're going to hit that. Then you're going to load a picture. It's going to say edit. So once you have a picture that you want to edit, down here at the bottom, you have some options. You're going to scroll over and it's going to say add pic or add photo. You're going to click on that and then it's going to bring up your album. And then that's where you already have your cropped email picture. And then you just add it, and I like to make mine more opaque. So it's kind of just a little hint of it. It's not like in your face. So that's how we do that. And then the main one that like the iPhone users use is Pick Tap Go. So I already know kind of what my style is now. I really like crisp contrast. I know some other people like it really bright. I like mine to have more contrast. So I really like to use Crispity. So I opened my app. Let's see. So like, here's that picture I posted with me and my sister. And I just took it and I used Crispity. And I also like to use, my other one that I really like is High Five. And a lot of times I edit it so it's not all the way to the filter. I kind of edit it to make it the way I like it. So that is kind of what I like to use. The filters I like to use Highlight, Crispity, High Five, and just kind of play around with those. If it is kind of a darker picture, I will use Brightside. So just play with those and just kind of figure out what you like, what the look is that you're going for. And what else? There was one more thing. Oh yeah, because what Zach kind of touched on is what I do. It's kind of a secret I heard somebody else use. So I know what style of pictures I want to use. So I will go over to Pinterest and I will find pictures and poses that catch my eye. And instead of just copying them and using them, I will take those and use them as inspiration and do the same pose. So that it's me in the picture or it's me and my products. And I already know what it's going to look like, but I just recreate it. So it's me. So I go to Pinterest and I just scroll through the pictures and I find poses that I really like. I even did this when we were at the airport last Saturday. I looked up airport photos, you know, or traveling photos, and just got some inspiration on really pretty shots that I wanted to take. So that is pretty much, I think, all that I was going to say about that. So, yeah.
I have some stuff too, Amanda, that I'm going to just like tag on to what Tabitha was saying too, that I was thinking about, that I was meant to say when I was talking and I totally forgot. She just jogged my memory. So what she was saying about finding your brand on PicTapGo, or if you don't have PicTapGo on, if you don't have an iPhone, like on an Android app that's similar, you want to find what you like and stay really consistent with that. So like, especially your Instagram, where like people are looking and it's all squares of your pictures, it all has like a similar theme. So like what she mentioned, High Five, that is like more of like a vintagey looking filter that she'll put over, and like she said, she tunes it down sometimes to where it's not like the full force. Skinny Jeans is another one that's a vintagey type overlay filter. But those, so like if you are going for a vintage look, like those are great ones. If you're going for a look where you want everything to look really like white in the background, I'm not going to say this right. Is it Montecito? Is that how you say it? I think it's like Montecito. I'm probably saying that wrong. And Air. Those are ones that like make everything look really white. Not so much just bright, like white. I know like Sarah Hyman, she's a double diamond on Freedom Legacy. She does uses those a lot on her pictures. And then if you just like, but regardless of which of those you're doing, everyone, I'm a firm believer, in my opinion, everyone needs to start with crispity because it makes the picture really crisp, like a photographer, and then find your style after that. As for us, we do like crispity, contrast, bright side, and then I tone bright side down usually if I don't want it that bright. And then sometimes I'll add highlights. If I feel like I do look a little pale in the picture, I'll do highlights and it'll make me look, like I have a little bit more color. And so that's just kind of our style. And then if it ever looks too yellow, I cool it down. Cool it down is a great way to remove the yellow from the picture. So we were talking about yellow lighting in your house. Like let's say you do get a really clear picture of your kids in your house. It's a great picture, but it's just super yellow. You're going to want to immediately, after you do crispity and whatever else you're going to do, you're going to want to cool it down. And you can, if it's too cool, you can just do like drag the bar about halfway. So it only applies half the effect, but that will make it have a way more natural look and won't be so yellow. And I'll put all this in the comments here in a second, but basically you just want to find your style regardless. And stay very consistent to it. So if you like that vintagey look, then that's great. Make that your brand, but stick to it. Like all your pictures need to have that little vintagey look to it. And if you've seen Tabitha's pictures, like her pictures are amazing. They all have that very, very chic vintage look. And I love what she said about, guys, she's doing all this from an iPhone 5, which isn't her iPhone, but because she's utilizing these apps, like the Fab Focus, like she's creating that same portrait view effect. So don't get discouraged if you don't have like the newest up-to-date phone, because you can still take really good pictures. You just have to learn how to edit them. One thing I wanted to hit on too, I just like thought of this, is do not watermark your pictures or like brand all your pictures with word swag. I've seen some people doing that. That's like not, that makes the picture look very unnatural. So like I know a lot of people are really paranoid about someone stealing their picture or something. Guys, who cares? If someone steals your picture, it's like, to me, I'm like, that's a compliment. My picture was obviously good enough that someone wanted to steal it. But the moment you start branding your picture with like putting, like writing on it in word swag, like writing your website across it or writing your name across it, like it all of a sudden takes like a really good, pretty natural picture. And now it makes it look kind of ad-like, because why else would you be branding your picture, you know? So just definitely, if that's something that you've been doing, I would highly recommend kind of just stopping that. Or if it's something you've seen people do and you're like, oh, I wonder if I need to do that. The answer is no, you definitely don't need to do that. I kind of always have looked at it like, I follow what the people that are successful are doing. So for me, when I started, like Claire was a triple diamond, Alyssa Billieu, her upline, who I think Amanda told you guys to follow, I put it in the comments, was an ambassador. That's Claire's Enroller. I watched both of them and I'm like, all right, if it's working for them, it'll work for me. And like Amanda says, like she loves Alyssa's style. That's kind of how I've always been from day one, is I've watched both of their styles. And so I've never seen either one of them, brand their pictures. And so to me, when I would see other people do that, I'm like, I don't know why they're doing that, but I'm not going to do that, because clearly the top income earners aren't doing it,
Well, because you're not selling your pictures, you're selling products and a lifestyle. If you were selling your pictures, then you would brand it.
Yeah, like if your pictures were what were actually getting you money, like people were coming and be like, I'm going to buy this photo from you. But like we're selling like who we are as people, like, and we're selling our personality, our style, you know, our like our message, you know, that we're giving, like we're seeking to inspire. So you don't need to worry about that. Don't get caught up in if people are stealing your pictures. I have people steal my post all the time. It is really important to write your own post. So I do want to encourage you, if you're kind of like, you do kind of do that sometimes, it's super important to write your own post, just because people can tell if you didn't write it. And people can usually spot a Pinterest picture. So it's better that you recreate it. And like Amanda said, there's something about you in the picture that they're like, that's definitely her. Like I always put my hand in the picture because I know they'll see my nails and they'll know it's me. Or if I have on like really cute ripped jeans, I'll make sure my ripped jeans are in the background of the picture. So just little things like that. But, and also with the Facebook algorithm, if you like take someone else's post exactly, like you take their picture, you take the caption, everything, it's not going to show it to near as many people. So it's worth it to go the extra mile and be unique for more reasons than one. But I did just want to come back full circle and say, like, if someone steals your post, just take it as a compliment that, you know, you're getting really good at what you're doing. So don't get too hung up on that. But I wanted to give a couple ideas real quick just to get some of you guys' creative juices flowing. Because if you're anything like me, like when I got started, I was just like really overwhelmed, and I'm like, okay, I really want to learn. I want to take really good pictures, but I'm not sure, like, what are some things that I can do to make the picture prettier? So these are just some things that I personally do. And like, it might be different from you, but the point of this isn't that you have to do these exact things. It's just to get your juices flowing. So like ripped jeans, if you've on some cute ripped jeans are super trendy right now. Get those in the background, like your coffee cup over your jeans or whatever. If you have like a really cute, like floral top, you know, you can take, like, even if your space isn't going to be in the picture, you know, if you're holding like your shakeout or something, you know, you can get that like real pretty floral vintagey shirt in the background. If you've got cute shoes, you can take a picture that somehow your shoes are going to be in the background, or like bright tennis shoes. I know Amanda runs a lot and she takes pictures a lot that will have like her running gear in the background. I always joke around because I wear running pants, but I don't run. And I have like really like trendy tennis shoes, but I don't run. So I'll take pictures like sitting outside of my driveway, and I'll have like my cute running pants on and my shoes. And I'll like have an email like Tabitha was talking about that I'll layer with PixArt, you know, saying I got paid or I got a customer or whatever. And I'll like have my nails in the back, in the picture. Like I'll just make it where it's all things me. And then I'll like be funny in the caption. And I'll be like, I've got my running gear on, my running shoes, but no, I don't actually run. Don't worry, guys. That hasn't changed, you know? So just like, think of like little things you can do that you can like, you know, just put you into the picture. So, and again, they might look totally different, but if you've got a really cute dog, I'm not a dog person, but I know
but I love dogs.
But I know a lot of you are dog people. So guys, the way I look at it is I have way too many kids. I do not have enough, I don't have time to also love on a dog. I got to make some time for myself too. But those of you that are dog people, like if you have a cute dog, like that's a great example of like something that can be in the background of a lot of your pics, because it can like easily fit into your brand. Like people know you love your dog. And so like put your dog in pics. So just like think, like spend some time brainstorming, like what are some cute things I could easily put in my pictures? And I know we kind of talked about that earlier, but I wanted to give you guys those tangible examples like that popped to my mind as Tabitha was elaborating on this as well too. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, I had it written down while Zach was talking and I just totally forgot. He kind of hit on this. And you can elaborate on what I'm saying too, because you're better at this than I am. But like when you are taking pictures of your kids or stuff, it's super important to make sure you're focused on them. So like, for example, like, I don't know if I'm going to explain this well, but like when you're taking a picture of your kid, like it's not even like your hands are shaking or anything, but like certain times the picture might not be as clear. And I don't exactly know how to explain it because I'm not a photographer, like Instagram husband over here, but you want to like touch the screen. And I think this is whether you have an Android or an iPhone. It's definitely true for iPhone, but like, I don't know if you guys can you see like the square on the screen? I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but see if I touch it, I don't know if y'all can actually see it, but when I touch Zach, a square comes up over him. And so it's automatically going to focus on him. Well, if I press and hold it for 3 seconds, it locks on him. And so now even as I move, like he remains the focus of the picture. I don't have to redo that anymore. So that's super important to do even as you're just taking like lifestyle pictures, you know, pictures that, you know, maybe you're not trying to get a perfect picture of you, but it's of someone else, like your kids, your dog, whatever. Make sure you're really focusing the camera so that way it's clear. Because I sometimes will be in a hurry and take a picture of the kids and I'll like go to edit it. I'm like, why does that not look that clear? And then I'm like, oh, I didn't focus it. So definitely make sure that you're doing that. And again, I'm pretty sure that little touching the screen tip is universal, no matter what phone you have. But did you want to elaborate on the focusing?
Yeah, I mean, for what I do a lot is when I do touch on and focus on like one of my kids' faces, if the picture's a little bit too dark on iPhone, you can like just scroll up like that on the phone on that picture, and it'll start brightening the picture up altogether.
You can touch
or you can go down, or you can touch on the darkest spot, and it'll illuminate the whole picture. So just kind of play around with lighting.
And I think that's the same with Android too. I'm pretty sure.
If not, like you can do YouTube. Like YouTube, I have like hacks for every phone you have. So just YouTube picture taking tips for whatever phone you have. And there's a video for that.
And I know Amanda's going to go into more tips for Android. Oh, Jordan just said in the comments it is the same as an Android. So all of you Android users, like it's what we were just about focusing. That's the same universal iPhone or Android. I know Amanda's going to give some Android specific apps that she talked to some leaders at conference who do use Androids, and she got some really good apps for them. But one thing that I just wanted to say that is a universal app. So most of the apps that Tabitha gave are universal, except for PicTapGo is definitely not. That's iPhone only. I think the other ones are all universal. I know PicsArt is. So for doing cropping your emails and putting those on pictures, that's universal. But the VSCO app, VSCO, it's actually really, really similar to PicTapGo, and we have it on iPhone. I like PicTapGo better, so I don't use VSCO, but it's super similar, and that's actually what a lot of photographers use. If you've ever gone and added people on Instagram, you'll notice the girls that actually do photography, or like are in school for photography, whatever, you'll notice in their bio, it'll say VSCO dot blah, 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 and it'll have their VSCO link. For the longest time, I'm like, what the heck is that? And then I realized that was the VSCO app. They'll go into the VSCO app, edit their pictures, but that is universal for iPhone and Android. So I definitely recommend if you are an Android user, like utilizing that. It's a free app. I think there are definitely things you can pay to make it, to have even more access to different features. But that's definitely a great app if you're an Android user, because I've downloaded it before and looked at it. There's filters that are very similar to the ones that I said I use, that Tabitha says she uses. So definitely in addition to whatever Amanda's going to share, Android users download that. So anyways, Amanda, you go ahead and take it over.
Okay. So I love what you said about like if you have a picture of it, if you have a really cute dog or your running shoes to put them in the back. And one thing that I just want to tag on to that is one of my new favorite things to do with product posts, because most of the time people don't ever want to comment on your product post because like, oh, she's going to message me, she's going to try to sell me this. I try to put something in my product post that is, sorry, I just heard like a really, really loud. Okay, we're good. All right, it was a box of blocks. I thought it was like something threatening. Okay, sorry. Put something in there that's not product related, and it makes people comment, and it gets you interaction on your post. Like you might get likes on your post that you were not going to get likes on just a shake, even if it's a nice picture and like people are supportive of your business. Sometimes they're like, I'm not liking that. Like they're not gonna interact on that because it's product related, and they don't want you. People have been burned so bad by cold messages, so they're like, I don't want to touch that because don't like that, don't touch that, don't engage on that because she's going to try to sell me this thing. But you still can, and that's why I like doing it, because then people will interact on your post. So if you have a picture of the dog in the background or some of your hashtags, make them funny, make it something relatable. Like don't make your product post just a shake sitting on a counter. Make it relatable and show how it fits into your life and somehow put a piece into your life. I think that's great. So I'm going to wrap it up kind of quickly. But one other thing that I wanted to touch on is Brittany talked about like be vain in your pictures because we're selling ourselves. I had a really big issue with that to begin with because I was not somebody who ever liked taking selfies, and I was super uncomfortable doing it. I did feel vain, and I felt like it was a really weird, like really inorganic thing. But what I've realized now is it's not vain at all, because if you're going to go get photos taken, like Brittany said, I remember doing our wedding photos, the photographer was like, turn your chin down, down, down. And I remember thinking like, this is so weird, but like the pictures turned out great. And like, you pay somebody to do that. So if you can do it on your own, that's not being vain. That's just smarter, not harder. So I want to talk real quick about staging. I'm going to show you guys a picture real quick. So one thing that I think is really, really important for photos in general, anything that you're posting, is staging of a photo. It doesn't matter what you're posting. It could be food. It could be a picture of your children. It could be a picture of yourself. It could be a picture of product. It could be a landscape picture. pictures of buildings, anything. I think staging is super, super, super important. And the reason that I think so is because you can accidentally show something that you're not going for. So one thing that I want to show you real quick is I'm going to show you some flat lays that I staged. Now these are completely unedited. Wait, I don't have me up, so I can't see what's like. These are completely unedited. It's just the raw image that I staged. Now, the edited image looked even better because I obviously cropped it and sharpened it up and whatever. So those are some flat lays. But the reason that I show you this is because I remember when I started thinking, looking at Alyssa's pictures and looking at Claire's pictures and looking at Brittany's pictures and saying, man, like all of their house is clean, like all the time. No, it's not. And the reason that I show you this is just to be like really transparent with you. This is my bathroom. This is where I took that picture, and you can see my suitcase. Do you see the mess in my bathroom? I show you this not to encourage y'all to have messy houses. I just show it to you because I urge you, when you're taking pictures, stage it and get that mess out of there. Like, do not put mess in the background. It is so distracting. Like, and believe me, my house is like, I mean, my house is clean, but it's not always tidy. I have a toddler running around who likes to unpack cupboards and stuff. Get the mess out. Like, just don't take a picture of it. Like, if you're getting ready to take a picture of your child, like I take a lot of pictures of him playing in the living room. I'll hold my phone out and see like where I'm going to take it from. And then I see, okay, there's a shoe. Get rid of the shoe. Okay, that blanket, like the blanket is ugly. Get the blanket out of there, because there's blankets all over our floor, like every single day. Or like if you're taking pictures, we took pictures at a team event we had this weekend. Move the table. So if you take a picture and you see like there's a table in the way, move the table. Like, and that's something like, it's just a couple, it takes less than 60 seconds most of the time to stage it, but it is going to make your picture look so much better. So just like get ready and see, like hold up your phone and see the image that you're going to take. And look in there and see what is in there that you don't actually want in there. It's being intentional about what you're allowing into your image. If there's a corner of a table and that's not what you're even looking for, move it. Like, I mean, move your house around. I do it in restaurants. I do it in public. I do it at Target. Like, people probably think I'm crazy, and that used to bother me, but I'm so over that now. Like, I don't care if you think it's weird that I moved 6 boxes of oatmeal to take a picture of my PB2. Like, I'm going to do it anyways. So, just think about it. It's just like being intentional about having a clean image, because you want whatever you're taking a picture of, you're obviously taking a picture of it for a specific reason, because it somehow fits in with your brand. It's somehow going to build your brand and enhance your business, and it has something to do with you. So don't let mess in there. Don't let something distract from the message that you're trying to communicate with an image. I hope that makes sense, and y'all don't judge me for my messy bathroom with like socks everywhere and all that kinds of stuff. Staging. Okay, so one thing that I also wanted to say about staging is when I first started, and even though I was trying to have clean pictures, all that's great, I was looking at stuff about Alyssa and Claire and Brittany. But one thing that I kind of messed up to begin with, and Zach touched on this a lot, was I was used to taking a picture like this. Like Brittany said, I was just used to taking a picture like this. I've never, as a human, held my phone out like this and took a picture. But what I will say is I used to just take a straight up picture. So if I'm going to take a picture of a really pretty building downtown, I wanted to get the whole building, and I wanted it to be symmetrical and, 90-degree angles, and I wanted it to be perfect, like exactly the same space at the top as it is on the side, as it is on the bottom. Those are really boring, it's like too perfect. If you look through Instagram and people who are bloggers, if you look through their photos, like that's not really what they're doing. And it can be a really great picture that you made sure that you staged it well, there's no mess in the background, but always look for that interesting angle, like what Zach said. And sometimes to get that angle, like what he was saying about bending down and getting down on your children's level, you have to do some staging. You have to get stuff out of the way, or maybe you have to turn your child in a certain way. Like yesterday, another thing that I want to say about staging real quick, I hope I'm not like helter-skelter and all over the place. I'm going to show y'all one picture. You can set yourself up for a successful photo shoot. And what I mean by that is if you wait for the perfect picture to happen, it might not happen, especially if you're taking it with children or animals. This picture that I posted yesterday of Daniel, he's got a tennis racket, he's holding a tennis ball, and Louis' iPhone is there. That's Roger Federer on the screen. So I posted this picture yesterday. What was actually happening before I successfully achieved this image was him running around with Louis' phone, which was entertaining and really funny. And actually it was adorable, but the pictures that I was trying to take of it didn't show how cute it was. And then I thought, you can't really see what's going on here. And you can't see that the TV has the game on. You can't see the phone has the game on. So what I did is I went and grabbed his tennis racket. Daniel has a little tennis racket and a tennis ball. I stole the phone from him. I ran away. I laid the tennis racket down, put the ball on the tennis racket because I knew he was going to go over there and pick up that ball for sure. And I put the phone down, angled the phone the way that I wanted to, and then I ran away and hurry up and take a picture of him. And I did it like 3 times before I got this, but that's how I got that picture. Now, it's not, I feel like some people will think, oh, you're being inauthentic. No, I'm not, because that's really what was happening, but I just made it possible to capture that the whole experience of what was happening. It's just like if you hire a wedding photographer and they're going to put your flowers here so that they can really take a picture, so they can demonstrate to you, you know, through their image, what is happening. What are we actually looking at? So it's just kind of being really intentional about what you want to communicate through your images, and that's how you stage the photos. Okay, now a little bit for Android users. Whenever I was at conference, I got to talk to Sarah Hyman, and she has really clean pictures. She actually doesn't have the PicTapGo app. She uses Instagram exclusively to edit her photos. So I want to touch a little bit on that now, and I've been using Instagram, just playing around with it to see how it works. And I really think that you can achieve a very similar look to what we advise using PicTapGo. So when you use Instagram to edit a photo, you're going to go onto your Instagram and you're going to click photo. Okay, so next. So you pick which photo you want to add next. Down here at the bottom, sorry, there's filters. There's filter. That's what people usually do, is filter, but those give really, really bold filters. So it's unlikely that that's going to be your style. And if it is, it's going to look like everybody else. So just be careful when using those. Don't do all of them. But over here is a button that says edit. And that's how she does it. So we'll talk about the VSCO app as well. But so in here, what I would advise you to use, I've been trying to recreate what we do in PicTapGo. Brightness is what I usually do first, but I don't take it all the way. So I'll do a little bit of brightness, add a little bit of light. Contrast always. Warmth, I like to cool photos down so we get rid of that yellow that's unflattering, like Brittany was saying. And then I go all the way to the end and I do sharpen. That's like crispity. It's a little bit different than crispity actually sometimes. So what I've been doing lately is I've been actually filtering my photos through Instagram to sharpen them because it just has a little bit of a dimension than the crispity does. And then tilt shift is a really nice function. That one is kind of like the studio effect or like a smart blur that you could do in PixApp. But just be careful not to do all of those because it kind of looks a little bit too edited sometimes. But if you want to use that, sometimes it's okay. There's highlights in here too. That might be something that you would like. There's shadows if you want to add a little bit of contrast, like Tabitha's pictures look really like chic. And then sometimes what I use is fade and saturation. If it's really, really bright, if there's like rainbow colors everywhere and that's not going to fit in with my Instagram, sometimes I do that. So I'll edit a photo and I don't mind if it's rainbow on my Facebook, that's fine, because I don't have a color scheme per se on my Facebook. But if I'm going to put it in Instagram, sometimes I'll go into saturation and just tone that down a little bit so that it's not like a clown on my Instagram, if that makes sense. And it makes it look a little bit more grayscale. You still have the photo, you still have, you know, the image and everything, but it just doesn't make it look so bright. So that's definitely one app to use. The other one that we talked about is the VSCO app, and I have that one on my phone too. I actually downloaded it a long time ago. Oh my goodness. I'm signed out of it. And I'm not familiar. Brittany, can you talk about that? Which ones? Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Yeah, let me pull it up and see. I actually may have deleted the app. I'm not sure.
I think that's what happened is my phone. Yeah, I just cleaned out my phone, but it's like, I don't remember what my login for this is.
It should be pretty easy to figure out which one's the like similar to Crispity. Okay. That one's extremely, because it like when you're looking at the squares, it's showing you what it's going to look like when you press it. So like finding the Crispity one is going to be the easiest, and then after that, like what we were talking about is you really just want to figure out like what your specific brand is, like what look you're going for, and then obviously like whichever one is the brightest one, that's going to stand out to you. Brighten, even if like you don't make all your pictures bright, like Tabitha was saying, like she doesn't use Brightside a lot. But if like she has a picture that's kind of darker, you know, she is going to brighten it up even if she tones it down. So just like little things like that, you know, just keeping in mind with like the tips we've given you, it should start becoming pretty second nature. What I will say is when I first started using PicTapGo, like it was something I had to learn, but like now it's completely second nature. Like you can give me the most, like a good clear picture, but the coloring could be horrible, and give me 2 minutes and I can make it look amazing in PicTapGo, because I'm so familiar with the app now that I'm like, all right, that needs to be brightened. We need to pull that down. It's too yellow. Boom, boom, boom. Here you go. Here's a picture. And it'll look nothing like the original picture did as far as like all the flaws and stuff and like weird coloring. So the more you get into editing your pictures, you're going to find it's the same for you. But the key is to start editing every single photo. No photo you take is good enough that it doesn't need any editing. Like even a great portrait view picture Zach takes on the beach, I will still make it crispity, even if I tone the crispity down a little bit, just so it's sharp. And like kind of like what Amanda was saying with Instagram, just sharpening it up. That's all you're doing. So even if everything else is perfect, I'll always do that, because that's, again, exactly what a photographer would do when they take your picture.
Yeah, I love that. And the one thing that I remember from this VSCO, whenever I was playing with it originally, is that they have this one function where you can obviously change brightness, and then they've got a function where you can change the hue of the color. But I just wanted to caution to be careful with that, because the filters on that can be really strong sometimes, and you don't want it to look like completely green. But one thing that I will say for y'all who are brand new, Brittany's recipe of Crispity Contrast Brightside, I think, is a really good place to start. So if you're new, I would recommend just going ahead and adopting that look for right now. Do Crispity Contrast Brightside and have in your head every single picture I post. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It doesn't matter what it is. Could be a dog, could be my pizza, could be me, could be the neighbor's house that's beautiful. Crispity Contrast Brightside. And you don't have to use the whole, I always use partial, so like you drag it. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about.
And you can save these as well too, guys. You can save them as recipes. And so whatever ones you're going to use all the time, you're going to save it as a recipe. And so you're not even having to click 3 things. You're clicking 1 thing every time, unless you want to tailor like what Amanda's about to show you. You want to make it not
right. So what you can do is you can make it, let me see if you can actually see what I'm talking about. So I'm cooling this photo down, which is not something that I would actually do, but it's what I touched. So here's this little bar that you can drag the bubble. Can you see that? And this is like more editing, less editing of that particular filter. But yeah, Crispity Contrast Brightside, I would say, is my blanket advice for anyone who's just starting off, and just like, if you're new to editing images and you're new to like looking for blogger type photos, Crispity Contrast Brightside. And the reason that I say that is because it's going to look good. It might not be 100% your style. And like, for example, I've changed mine now. I use a lot of Air. I use a lot of Montecito. I sometimes use high fives. Every once in a while I do, I think it's called Mason, a little bit of Mason, but it depends. And honestly, if I would have messed around with that to begin with, I think my pictures would have been a hot mess. So in the beginning, I just did Crispity Contrast Brightside every single time. And now that I'm so used to it, I've started fine-tuning my particular style and my particular image. But in the beginning, it was really helpful for me to have that recipe from Brittany and know that, okay, I have confidence that this is a well-edited photo. I feel good about posting this on social media. So I would advise you to start with that. And then afterwards, like Tabitha said, you can kind of play around and know, like, you want a little bit more contrast than you want bright side, or maybe you want to use the highlights. She said, is that right? You use highlight? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, start there if I can encourage you to do that. I think I'm done, so I'm going to open it up for questions unless Brittany or Tabitha or Zach, do you have anything else that you want to add before we open up for questions?
I thought of just a couple of things just about going back to like what you were saying about like when the wedding photographer like told you to like look down. I remember I was going to hit more on this and I totally forgot. But like find things that you know are going to make you look more flattering in the picture. So like what Amanda was saying, like your angle, like what I talked about holding the camera up, down angle. If you know you have a good side, if you have a better side of your hair, if you have your hair fixed a certain way, like Amanda does really fancy updo style hairstyles whenever we get together for 15 minutes. Like right now she's a braid. I'm going to use a braid for an example. If Amanda's taking a picture with me right now, she's going to want me on the other side of her that doesn't have the braid.
I'm not ever going to take a picture of this.
Yeah.
Like never going to happen.
Yeah, that's going to, she could look.
Not even straight on. I'll always
turn to the side. So like if you have a hairstyle where, or maybe you have your hair curled, but you have like majorly parted over one way and you have like this side behind your shoulders, then you're not going to want this angle of the picture. You're going to want this angle. So just little things like that, like find what like you look the most flattering in. And then remember, like don't ever square onto the camera, turn slightly to the side like we talked about. That's always a more slimming view. But one thing when Amanda and I went to Sephora when she was here and we got our makeup done, the makeup artist told me this tip. She said, because I was telling her that we work off social media and that I literally prefaced that when I was getting my makeover. I was like, I need like the best makeup. I was like, because when I, get my makeup done and get ready, like I'm literally like taking selfies on social media for my business. And so she was giving me some tips and she said, like, always put on more bronzer and more blush for pictures than you normally would. She was like, because blush especially does not show up in pictures near as well. Like you could have a good amount of blush on, but in a picture, the picture's not gonna pick it up. So like if like, oh, I'm gonna go outside today and I'm gonna take several pictures, like put a lot more blush than you usually would on. Also, I'm totally going to give you guys a makeup tip. I like have been doing this all wrong. This is how like my mom taught me how to do blush, but apparently it's wrong. She said, so bronzer goes right here, which I did know that. She said blush actually should go right here. It should go like right here. And then you come up lighter in a C shape to your eyebrows. So you do your blush here and the leftover blush, you could do a C like that. So I was totally doing all that wrong because my mom told me like bronzer and then you do a little blush over like right above your bronzer. But no, she said the blush should literally go completely above your cheekbone, like right here. The bronzer goes down here. So I've been doing that ever since Amanda and I got our makeup done. And like definitely I feel like, oh, this is definitely a better look, but would have never known. Also, even if you're not a big makeup person, because I know like some of us wear more makeup than others, or like some of us just maybe do our eyebrows, or, we don't wear foundation, we just do lipstick, whatever. Always, if you're taking a picture, like have something that, even if you're not a big makeup person, something that's going to make you pop. So for example, when I see Tabitha, like I always know her eyebrows are going to be like 100% on point. She's going to have her brow game strong because that's like her thing. I personally, like I do my brows, but I opt for lipstick in every picture because for me, I just really want to have lipstick on. So find something that like is easy for you. You're like, okay, like I love my look with lipstick. I love when I have my brows done, whatever it's going to be. But like that, you need to make sure you have it done in pictures. And again, this can sound vain all day long, but it will make your pictures pop. And like people will like start thinking of like people know that you're not going to see a picture of me without lipstick. You're just not. I might go live in Fire Tribe without lipstick, but that's about it. I won't go on a live video on my Facebook, and I won't take pictures without lipstick, just because I know that like for me, I look like way more flattering if I have my lipstick on. So find something, whether it's your brows, your lips, whatever, but just kind of, even if you're not a makeup person, I just encourage you to have that one little thing you do, because it'll make your whole face pop in your pictures and you will start to be quite fond of it. And then also, I know Amanda mentioned she was like really like insecure about taking selfies when she started. I was too. I'm pretty sure I can say with confidence, Zach can correct me if I'm wrong, but I like never took a selfie before it hurt today. I like never took a selfie, like ever, guys. Like might be hard to believe right now, but I literally never took a selfie. I was very, very critical of myself in pictures pretty much at all. I mean, like if it was a family picture, that was fine, but I was not a selfie person. I used to make fun of my cousin for selfies actually. So, the irony. But, things that helped me like feel more confident taking selfies, like I'd go outside and I'd put my sunglasses on. When you put your sunglasses on, you don't feel near as vulnerable. So like get a cute pair of sunglasses. Like I said, throw some lipstick on, just little things like that. You'll feel like, okay, like I don't feel so awkward. So just play around. Like if you haven't taken a lot of selfies before, you're in good company. Most people haven't before the business. I mean, there are a few people, but definitely don't let that stop you. Like, just kind of ease into it. I found it was a lot easier to take selfies with one of my kids in the picture when I started. Gavin, he was like the cute one that was always around when I started at Works almost 2 years ago. And so literally I'd be like, Gavin, come take a picture with mommy. And I would go put some lipstick on, and like we'd go outside in the backyard, and like I'd put my arm around him and hold him and like take several selfies. So don't be afraid to like make your kid get in a picture or make your husband take selfies with you if that like helps it be more comfortable. But definitely just kind of take those tips that'll make you feel, you know, more yourself. And then, yeah, I saw a couple of questions in the comments that I was going to touch on. So Jesse, you asked about any tips for those who don't know what their brand should be. So I would say exactly what Amanda said, like just start with Crispity Contrast Brightside, because what's going to happen is as you start editing pictures blanketly with that, you will start to see like if there is something you want to change. And because you get in the habit of doing that, it'll be super easy to incorporate like another filter on top, or to like tone the brightness down and then cool it down, or tone the brightness down and then add the vintage filter, high fives or skinny jeans like Tabitha does. But definitely I would start with that. I think that's just a really safe way to start. When I started, that was what Claire recommended, and that's what I did. And I do that still now, but I do also now cool it down, and I didn't used to cool it down. But now I realize like, oh, I can make all the coloring in the picture look a lot more favorable with cool it down. So I would start with that and then go from there. And then let's see. What Jocelyn asked about, if you can't move it, can you blur it? You want to be careful about just blurring out one flaw in the picture, because it will kind of stick out like a sore thumb. So I recommend doing, if you don't have the iPhone 7 Plus or above, doing what Tabitha does and use that app where she's basically creating the same effect and she's blurring out everything in the background but the main focus. That's what I would do if you are in a messy room and you can't move stuff around. But I would also just encourage you to like get familiar with like the cropping on your phone and stuff, because like Amanda was saying, like you can just move a couple things out of the way, take the picture, and even if there's still something, like you can crop it in your phone and still make the picture look really good. I typed this in the comments whenever Amanda was talking, and I said especially at restaurants, and she was talking about moving stuff around like at the grocery store or Target or whatever. So like restaurants, if you've ever been out to eat with me, you know, and I know that all of you that were at Cheesecake Factory in Texas for Christmas know what I'm talking about. But like I will move everything off the table for the picture. Like I'll get the napkins out of the way, the silverware, the water glasses, you know, and you can quickly just get that stuff out of the way. And then I took the picture of the cheesecake. And once I got the perfect picture of cheesecake, I think there was still something coming in on one corner, and I just barely cropped that out. And then boom, we had a perfect picture of cheesecake after I edited it. So you'd be surprised how much you can get out of the way in, like Amanda said, 60 seconds or less if you just quickly. But if you are going to blur, definitely do it Tabitha's way and blur everything. Don't just blur one flaw, because it will be obvious that you just blurred one flaw.
One way that you could also blur that if you don't use Tabitha's app is that tilt shift in Instagram. You can do it linear, which is going to do it like this way, or you can do it, I think it's called radial, which does it like a circle, and that doesn't look so weird, like just blurring one random thing. So tilt shift in Instagram's edit function can do that too.
Yeah. Okay, Mandy asked, favorite brand of lipstick. Okay, so for years, I've only ever used MAC lipstick. I really like their lipstick. I feel like it's really reasonably priced for how long it lasts. And then every 6 empty tubes, they give you a free tube lipstick. So that's kind of cool too. It's part of their recycling program. But I actually just bought this color I'm wearing right now, which is really similar to a color I wore from MAC called Faux, F-A-U-X. But I bought this at Sephora when Amanda and I were there, and it's by Urban Decay. I'd have to tell you the color, but I got an Anastasia lip liner and an Urban Decay lipstick, and it was the same shade and color that I usually like. If you haven't ever really worn lipstick, so like I have reds and stuff that I'll wear if we're going out, and I have like a bright fuchsia I wear a lot in the summer. But like what I recommend is if you have never really branched off into lipstick, but you're like, I totally want to try, like I love how it looks on her, I would get like a mauve. Like this is like kind of in the mauve family. It's more there's some that have like an orange, like a burnt orange undertone or like a brown undertone, and then there's some that have more of like that rose undertone. This is like a rose undertone. But get some type of neutral lip color, like a mauve, and it will look so, it's just a great way to branch into lipstick, and it goes with everything, and you'll start being to where you don't want to ever go anywhere without it. So I highly recommend trying something like that. And you can get, I mean, really any lipstick. The one lipstick has always been something that I'll always spend a little bit more money on than getting something from the drugstore. And the reason why is the better quality lipstick you get, it doesn't smudge as much when you're eating or anything. So like I literally could go eat a hamburger right now and I'm not going to look like a toddler. Like it's not going to get all under my chin. But if like a lot of lipsticks you buy over the counter from like Target or Walgreens or something, they're a lot more wet. And so that's not true of all of them. There are some that are more matte, but then some of those you find like dry your lips out too much. So I really like going to MAC and getting one of their satin finishes. It'll look like a matte, but it won't dry your lips out like a matte. Or this one we just got at Sephora was really, really good too. So
Devin just asked, any tips for people who don't have someone to take photos of them? I have I'll field that one. And then if you want to add on, if that's fine. So I almost never have people taking pictures of me. Like I use the most, I try to like make the most out of the time that I have with my husband because I really don't see him a lot. He's working crazy hours. And also he is supportive of the business, but I'm not going to say he's a rock star for taking photos like Zach. Like he hates it. He hates taking photos in general. So like I have to twist his arm and bribe him with like cookies and all kinds of stuff. But so I usually take my own photos and I have gotten really inventive lately in how I'm taking them. We do have a tripod, but I'm not going to lie. I almost never pull that out because it doesn't go high enough that the image is not cutting me where it looks like I have that double chin, even as a small person. So what I have started doing is I have started using hallways in places that have pretty backgrounds. Like, so there's this historic courthouse downtown that has marble backgrounds in the back. And if you use a hallway, you can somehow find a little ledge to prop up your phone and set a 10-second timer and just keep running back and forth. It looks ridiculous, but I don't care. I took this picture. Y'all might have seen, I don't know if you can see it. This is of myself. I took it in our apartment complex hallway by setting a 10-second timer, and I set my phone on the emergency exit door on the bar that you push to like get out, and like that's how I took this picture. So there's a lot of places that you can just look around and see like, is there a secure flat spot that I could just like lean my phone back up against something and set the timer and run back and like look to see how how the picture is going to be framed. Like take one and then maybe move to be where you want it to be, and just get creative with that. And there's a lot of pretty backgrounds in your area at restaurants. Just look at the backgrounds and see where can you put your phone that you can put a 10-second timer and then run over and get in the picture, because I guarantee there's a lot of places that you could do it. Brittany, do you have anything to add for that?
No, I think that's perfect. You're better at doing the self timer than I am. And then I would just say, don't hesitate to take selfies too. I know that when Clara got started, Brian was always working, and I was her customer when she first got started. So I watched all her posts, even though I wasn't in the business. And I know that she, hold on one second. Okay. And I know that she took just pretty much selfies all the time. So it was just selfie after selfie, but she would go in different places, or like she'd be at a park and take one and her kids would be running in the background or something. So just mixing up the selfie game. But yeah, what Amanda gave was a good tip. So, okay, Mary just asked a question. She was saying, is the filters that we recommended, is that great for people of color too? Or would you want to do something different? I would say it's pretty much the same. You just, in some pictures, Mary might want to tone the brightness down if you feel like it's distorting your skin color. And I feel like sometimes for me, I'll have to tone the brightness down because I'll look like a ghost. So I'll tone the brightness down and then I'll add highlights. So just kind of playing around with it. But I would say definitely use the same filters. And then if you notice like, oh, my skin looks way too light in this picture, then just like tone the bright part down and then you should be good. But like, to give you some perspective, I edited those group pictures of us at conference. And there was, everyone had different skin tones. We had some people that were way paler than others, people that were more tan. We had, Shannon has a little bit lighter skin tone than you do, Mary. And like, y'all, it was a good mix of like, everyone had different skin colorings. And I did the same filters I always would do on there. I think I did add highlights though, because I think I remember when I did Best Bright Side, some of the pale people looked too pale. And then I think that like maybe y'all skin did look a little bit lighter. So I added highlights and then everyone looked good. So it was a good brightness, but it did. So yeah, I would say still use the same filters. Just know if you do a filter and you're like, I don't quite look as flattering as I should in this picture, you know, just tone whatever that last thing was that you kind of feel like made you not look as like the same as you normally would look. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So does anybody else have any questions? I think that was all the ones that I saw in the comments, but if you guys have any other questions, like seriously, don't be shy. Chances are someone else has the exact same question you do. So don't be afraid to put it in the comments. I'm looking through right now.
And just going on from here, I just encourage y'all, maybe just have a chat with your husband and let them know what would be helpful to you, or your friend or your roommate or whoever it is, because just letting them know and communicating and requesting that they take more pictures of you, or requesting that they take pictures from your head or down, not lower, they can accommodate for that. So even my husband, who actually hates doing it, if I ask him to do it, he'll do it. So I just remember one time we had a conversation. I just said, listen, I would really appreciate it if when we're out, you can be intentional about trying to take a couple images of me. That's going to be really beneficial for our business, and that's going to be really beneficial for our family and as our income. So just have that conversation. Don't be nervous to ask for it, but make sure that you let them know, because they don't know that if you don't tell them. And just really be intentional about taking photos when you go everywhere, even if you're not going to use it, because you can always use it later. And there will be days where you don't have anything from that day that you can use.
Yeah, and definitely like elaborating on that, like what Zach said is we've like legitimately guys gotten in some you know, little spats about pictures, but we have found that now I just have to be very upfront in the beginning, like this is exactly the kind of picture I'm wanting. I need this, nothing else. Like yesterday I didn't post it on Facebook because, well, if y'all saw my live, I was blocked from Facebook. So I did it on my Instagram story and then my Facebook story later, but he did a picture of my belly, and I was standing in front of a wall outside my bedroom. And I only wanted my belly. I didn't want my face in the picture. I didn't want my legs. I only wanted my belly. I just wanted to hold my belly really, you know, cutely, and that's it. And so he's thinking, okay, she wants her belly. So he's getting down. I'm like, no. Like, I want you to like take it like you would have me, but only my belly. And he took some of me down below like belly, like eye level with belly. And my belly looked ginormous, like way bigger than it normally does. And I like had to tell him, I was like, all right, listen, this is what I'm wanting. I want you to take it just of me, but like, it looks like I just cropped the picture. I'm like, I can even crop it if I need to. I'm like, but I want it to look like the view I see when I look in the mirror. And I'd like be very specific. So it sounds silly, but you're going to be way less stressed if whoever's taking the picture of you, you just tell them what you want. Just be super, you know, obnoxious about it if you have to, and be so detailed that it's not even funny, but it's going to save you so much time. But Cara just asked a question. She couldn't get the chat to come up, so she texted to me. But this is a great question, because I had this struggle when I got started, like trying to figure this out. She said, it's more of a caption question than a posting question, but how do you ensure you start a new line? She said, I write my captions in notes. Sometimes it's spaced properly in notes, but not when I copy and paste it to the captions section on Instagram. So a couple things. Whenever you have an emoji at the end of something, it'll automatically, it automatically will mess up your sequence of lines. And also if you have an empty space. So this is kind of hard to explain, but like, let me think of an example. I don't think I'll be able to show you if I show my phone up close. But if you type something out and you have like, you know how like when I do my story post at night and I have like paragraphs. Okay, well, if at the end of this period over here, I have a space. Like, let's just say I do a space because I'm starting to write, and then I'm like, oh, never mind, I'm going to skip down and start a new paragraph. Well, if I have a space at the end of that paragraph, then it'll look fine on Facebook, but when I do it on Instagram, everything's going to move up. And so you want to make sure there's never any spaces after emojis or after periods. If you do have an emoji, you want to go through and you want to do the little dot in between your paragraphs. And I pretty much just do the dots in between every paragraph, no matter what, whether it's an emoji or not, just for good measure. But even if I do the dots, if I have a space at the end of the period before, the dot will move up. So I probably am confusing some of you. I hope I'm explaining this right. But basically, you can't have any space at the end of any paragraph. There has to be no space. So if you end it with the period, immediately tab down. Don't accidentally hit the space bar, because if you do, everything will shift back up. And then what I do is I type it out on Facebook first, exactly the way I like it. I don't do the dots on Facebook. And then I copy it. And when I go to do it on Instagram and I paste it to the caption, I go and everywhere there's a space between paragraphs, I just add a dot, and then it fixes the problem. Nothing will shift up at that point because I didn't do any spaces anywhere else or anything. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, just tell me. But okay. Are there any other questions before we hop off? We've got the family call, guys, in 17 minutes, so make sure, don't forget about that. It'll be live on Mark's Facebook. But if anybody has any last minute questions, please feel free to ask.
And go ahead and send this to your teams, because there's a lot of people who aren't on here. So it takes a while for Brittany to load it, because it just takes a really long time to load it on Insta or YouTube. Check back in a day or two, in a couple days, and send that link to your team and just let them know that this is a really important hour that they need to watch, because this will dramatically change the way that your page looks, and it'll dramatically change the way that your business is working. So send this to your team and make sure that they know that if you have any questions, if they have any questions, they can talk to you or an upline. Yeah. Or if there's anything that we talked about that you have more questions about, get with your enroller or get with your upline, because this is really important things. And like, don't feel silly about asking questions. Like, I have asked Brittany so many ridiculous, simple questions about certain things, but I really think that that's how you learn, and that's how you're going to end up building your business. So make sure that you take the extra time to send it to your team and let them know how important this is.
Yeah, and like Amanda was saying at the beginning, like, these Zooms, guys, are what are going to help you feel so much more confident and so much more equipped, and like help you take your business to the next level. So it really, like, it means so much to me, like all of you guys that are on here, because I know that you're serious about learning and getting better. Like I said, you know, just being completely transparent with y'all when we got started, like, we didn't have a clue what we were doing, but one thing that we did above so many other people was I got on every training that was available. It didn't matter if Claire was doing it, Alyssa was doing it. Like, if someone was doing it and I saw a posting, I was on it. And if for some reason we had like a family gathering and we were out or something, you know, I'd make a point to watch the recording as soon as I saw it uploaded. But just definitely, like, showing up will make the biggest difference. I can tell you right now, the people on this team who have shown up to Zooms from the beginning, their volume's higher, their enrollments are higher, they sign more people, because it's amazing how much more equipped you'll feel by hearing tips from all different kinds of people. Like on this Zoom, you heard from several different styles of people. I mean, you even heard from Zach, who's a guy, obviously. And so hearing from different styles of people, you're going to hear something that's going to click with you, and you're going to be like, okay, I've got that. I can totally start implementing that. And so just make a point to be on as much stuff as you can. I know it might seem like a sacrifice because they're in the evening and you might be tired, or you want to do stuff with your family. But even if you just have it on while you're sitting in the room and you kind of have the volume down, or sitting there with your husband, you know, like, again, just kind of what Amanda was saying, be upfront and like talk to, you know, your spouse about how they can support you. And just let them know, like, hey, I really feel like for the next couple of months, I need to plug in as much as possible. So if you don't mind, I'm going to have it on. I'll have it low, but I want it to be on while we're living here and washing dishes, doing laundry, folding laundry, whatever. And just ask them to support you in that way by like not minding, because you'll feel so much better. And I promise you will see the return in your business too. So I will get this uploaded as soon as I can. Our internet's super slow. We literally have not dial up, DSL. Like, we don't have like all the fast internet you guys have in the big city. So it takes me forever just to download it and then to get it uploaded, but I'll get it uploaded as soon as possible, and you guys can share with your teams and stuff. And make sure, like, new people and stuff, like Amanda said, like, take the initiative and share with them, because a lot of times, like, they're not in the habit of getting on yet, or they're not in the habit of like finding the recordings. So like, just really like those first couple weeks, like, take them under your wing and like send them everything you can. Within reason, like, send them stuff you really feel like they need right now. Don't, you know, be careful not to overwhelm people, but that will definitely just kind of help get them in the habit of, you know, watching this stuff and plugging in. So anyways, we love you guys so much. I'm so glad we were finally able to do this, and I hope it was helpful to you guys. And like Amanda said, if anybody has any specific questions for anything that was shared tonight, just message one of us and we'll be glad to help you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.